Did you ever buy a new car? Did you ever want a new car? Well, I had a new car once. Just once. Just once. Ever since then, it's been new to me. Just like my animals, we get them used. This puppy was used many, many, many years ago. I got him when he was just a year old, and now look how cute he is. He's 14 now. He's kicking, doing well. All right, Tonka, that was your debut. All right, so what I want to talk about today, and I'm Rose McDonough, I forgot to say that. What I want to talk today about is, what if you want to buy a new car? Does it have to be a brand new car? When I bought a brand new car, the reason I bought a new car is because I had no one around to help me take care of the car. I didn't have anybody to help me with oil changes. I didn't have anybody to help me if there was something, I don't know, going wrong on the car. Whereas before then, I could call my dad and say, the car's making this noise, and he would tell me what to do or what was wrong with it, take it to the shop and tell them to fix it. But I didn't have anybody, so I got a brand new car. Are you ready for a brand new car? Have you thought it through? So I have some things I want to talk about. Brand new car, sure, it's always lovely. Can we say depreciation? Because that's what happens to a brand new car the minute it goes off the lot. The minute it goes off to the lot, it is no longer a brand new car. It does not have the same value. According to Carfax, your car, your brand new car, depreciates 20% in the first year. And then all other cars, it's about 10% annually that it depreciates. Why would I want to eat that depreciation? It doesn't taste very well. It tastes like dry, stale bread. Let somebody else have that depreciation. We have been known to buy cars that have been leased cars that were leased by a company, and what they'll do is they'll keep the car for 50 to 60,000 miles and then they turn it back in again. Usually they're highway miles. I don't care about that. They ate the depreciation, not me. I've made the mistake of buying cars from people, not from a dealership, not from somebody who could give me certified pre-owned. I should have just painted on the one of them, the RAV that we had. We should have just gone ahead and painted lemons on it. You know why? Many things went wrong with it. Many things. But most importantly is when I went to turn that car in to use it as a down payment on another vehicle, and they ran the whole check on it that I did not do because I trusted the people who I had been buying it from. I found out that not only had that car been in an accident, but that the airbags had been deployed and the police had to be called to the accident. That's how bad it had been. No wonder I had so much problems with that car. After that, I said never again. Anytime I want to get a car, I want it to be certified pre-owned. What does that mean? It means that it has been checked over. And usually the warranty is transferable. And that's the kind of used car that you want to get. And if you're buying a brand new car, you better hope that there is nothing wrong with that. And you want to get every bell and whistle that you can get that they'll give you. That they will be from sea to shining sea. That they are taking care of from bumper to bumper and including your tires. All right, I'm digressing. Don't be in a hurry if you're getting a new car. Think about it. What do you really want and what can you really afford? Oh, well, I can afford $350 a month in a car payment. Really? Is that all it's going to cost you? Anybody think about the other things like, maintenance on that car? How about those new tires? So my cousin was in his late 60s and his wife died, and he was grieving, and I understand that. And he took insurance money and he went and bought some sporty car that he always wanted to have. Within 6 months, he returned the car. The reason he returned it is he found out how much the tires were going to cost. Because it was a sporty car, how much more expensive the oil change was on it, plus all the other additional maintenance. So not only did he decide to return a car that had just depreciated in value because he bought it brand new, but now he was in what's called an upside down loan. He owed more on the car than what the car was considered to be valued at that time. Like I said, he had taken insurance money, put a huge down payment down on it, and yet it still had depreciated in value. So don't be in a hurry. Shop around and think about what do you need to do. The maintenance, the gas, the depreciation on it. the interest that you're going to have to pay, because a car doesn't come free. If they're gonna give you money, nobody's in it to break even. They're gonna want money back too. So what kind of an interest payment are you paying? And the most important thing, oh my gosh, the insurance. Don't just buy without calling your insurance company. Hello. Sometimes you actually have to speak to people. I know, all of you young people, you get online and you put all this information in. I like to talk to people. I remember calling my insurance company once and I said, I'm looking at this car, I'm looking at this car, and I'm looking at this car. How much is it going to cost to insure me? And you need to know information about it. Does it have airbags? Does it have automatic locks? Here's the funny thing. I live in Elwood City now. I don't live in Elwood City. I'm just like, this much, a blink away from Fonbelle. I had lived in Fonbelle. My insurance on all my cars went up because, oh my gosh, the zip code 16117, higher crime rate than 16123. How about that? You want to think about those kind of things. What is the insurance going to cost you? And I remember when I called and the woman goes, well, which car am I putting on your policy? I said, you're not putting any on. I'm trying to find out how much this is going to be so that I can make the decision what my budget is going to be. Which one of these cars is actually going to fit into my budget, because you have to insure it. All right, so that's your whole budget that you need to think about. So, all right, you found the car that you think you really like, and then you need somebody to float a loan for you. Either it's going to be somebody you know, or you have to go to an institution. And that institution could be the bank. It could be your credit union. Our credit union a lot of times will match. If the dealership could find a better deal for you, our credit union will match for you. So you want to look into that. In the dealership, a good dealership will have a lot of different institutions that they deal with. So it's not just like, hey, WesBanco can give us this rate. It's going to be WesBanco, it's going to be Timbuktu, it's going to be Sam's Service. They're going to have a lot of people, and they're going to run your credit, and they're going to make a decision of what they can give you as far as a loan would be, the interest rate on the loan. How much money should you have down on this car? I don't need anything. Yeah, that means you're in a really big loan. You want to have 10 to 20% to put down if you can. And I always say about, new isn't always better, because I want you to know this. The average person drives about 12,000 miles a year. So with the lease vehicles that we sometimes bought and they had 60,000 miles on them, that's how you knew that they were a lot of times big highway miles, because they were traveling big distances. You're not going to be putting 30,000 just driving around one county. That means you're traveling across the state. All right. Love at first sight can cost you a whole lot of money. Just keep that in mind. What are your needs? What are your wants? There's the difference. Okay, I live in an apartment. I want a remote start because I don't want to have to go downstairs, start my car up, and come back in so it clears off in the winter. Okay, fine. But remember, that's going to cost you money. Not just that it costs money because it's got the remote start in it, and you want to get factory installed remote starts. There's less likely of things going wrong if it's factory installed. But you want to make sure that it is a need, not just a want. I remember 1,000 years ago, my nephew's friend, every time we'd be going somewhere, he would say, Monte Carlo SS. Monte Carlo SS. It's probably like today's people saying, Tesla, yay, we all want a Tesla. It's the same thing. He turns 16 and a half and he's got his first car, and I looked at it and I said, hey, that's not a Monte Carlo. And he said, do you know how much money it costs to insure one of those? Well, no, I don't, but I would assume because it was a spiffy car, it probably costs a lot. Us, my insurance is very minor because I drive old vehicles. We have a I believe it's a 98 Honda and a 2000 Honda. And one of our Hondas, it's kissed a lot of deer. There's a lot of damage on those vehicles. It doesn't matter. They're Hondas, and so they're going to run forever. But the value of them has never depreciated, weirdly enough, even though this one's beat up, it probably is depreciated more. But we don't have to pay a lot in insurance because they are older vehicles. So you need to think about that kind of stuff. Walk away if you're not 100% sure. You know when you see somebody who you think is really good looking and it's like, pitter patter, If your heart doesn't pitter patter when you are test driving that car and when you're looking at the numbers and everything else, walk away. There's a lot of cars out there. Take time. And if you're more willing to walk away, great. If you are willing to make a deal and wait until the end of the year, because car dealerships have deals with other people. They're getting the car, they're renting the cars basically from the people who make the cars, and they have to get rid of them. And the longer they sit on their lot, the less money they're making off of it because they're paying a rental fee basically on them. So you want to wait until November or December? Great. You can find some deal. That's a great way for you to do that. So when you're doing your insurance, do you understand what the insurance means? When you're calling, does this mean if something happens that you're covered? If, like me, you don't have anybody to help take care of you if your car breaks down, make sure that you've included in with your insurance coverage something like a rental car. That it will, if you have kissed a deer and it's destroyed your car, that while it is in being repaired, that you have a way to get to and from work each day. So think about the insurance. Think about gap insurance. If you are buying a new car, gap insurance, I know somebody who said, oh, I wish I would have even heard of that. Gap insurance means that if you owe more than the car is valued at and the car is totaled, that insurance will cover that part. Yeah, it's going to cost you a few dollars a month, but what's that peace of mind of not having to pay thousands of dollars later? Understand whatever the contract is that you've set up with this dealership or these people as you're buying them. If they were going to put on new tires on the car because you looked at it and they were bad tires, make sure that it's written in there that you're going to get new tires. If they were going to, I don't know, add in some music thing that you wanted in there, make sure that it's written in the contract so that you have it in there. You never know. There's all kinds of things that can go wrong. You need to be prepared. It's just not like, hey, I want a new car, let's go buy one. I know I can afford this much. You need to be thinking of all that other stuff. I don't care if you have to put a jar in your bedroom and you have to start putting $20 a week away or whatever and putting it into that jar to take care of maintenance, because that car will need new tires. That car will need an oil change. Something will go wrong with that car and you will need to do something with it. It doesn't matter how new it is. It doesn't matter how old it is. Something is going to go wrong. So just make sure that you are prepared and have money put aside. I don't want you to be sitting here crying later about, oh my gosh, I made a mistake, like my cousin did, who, like I said, was in his 60s, and that's awful. All right, so those are the things. There are so many different places that you can go, and you can read articles here and there. They're just not nearly as interesting as I am, and they're not going to say it as concisely about making sure that you know what your budget is. Make sure that you have 10 to 20% to put down. Make sure if you stupidly get into 72 months of paying off, that you are certain that that car is going to have some kind of value when you're at the end of paying that off. 72 months is a very long time. So that's it. And remember this word, depreciation. As soon as you drive it away, it continues to depreciate. All right, so we're going to pull some names, and I wanted to just show you this real quick. So this lovely young lady, this is Brooke. You never get to see Brooke because she's behind the camera, but I want to make sure that you got to see her face and know what I get to look at when I'm looking at my camera and how much I appreciate her. All right, let's see what names we're going to pull today. Joyce Porter. How funny is that? That happens to be a relative of Brooke's. This is her grandmother who recently, oh gosh, I guess it's been a couple months now, she decided that she was going to subscribe, and I'm really glad that she did. And Karen Newman. Karen Newman is somebody from the credit union. Somebody you could go to and say, hey, this is the deal that they gave me. Can you match it? Thanks, Karen. And Karen told me, Karen didn't know how to fold fitted sheets until she watched my video. She said she rolled them in a ball and put them in her closet. See, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. All right, this is Rose McDonough. Thank you for watching today. Like, subscribe, please leave comments. I'm so glad I just had somebody tell me that they've watched my videos and what they would like to see me do, so I have a few new ideas of everything coming up. Have a great weekend. Thanks.